Good evening and welcome back to the Fate of Drakkenheim. This is the Dungeon Dudes weekly Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live stream campaign. My name is Monty Martin, running our campaign as Dungeon Master.
And I'm Kelly McLaughlin, playing Sebastian Crow, the half-elf shadow sorcerer. And we're joined today by our good friends.
Jill Donitis, playing Rudy Whitaker, the shifter eldritch knight.
And Joe O'Gorman, playing Wrath, the Aasimar warlock.
Thank you for joining us once again. If you are just tuning in for the very first time, welcome. We are the Dungeon Dudes, and Kelly and I post new videos every other Tuesday and every Thursday on our YouTube channel, where we cover everything D&D, including advice for players and guides for GMs. So check us out at youtube.com/dungeondudes.
And you can also join us on Tuesday nights when we record the campaign live on Twitch. You can check us out from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube, which go up every Friday. And we also are available as an audio-only podcast, so you can check us out on your favorite podcasting platforms.
Now, you may have known that if you've been following our work, last year we launched our Kickstarter campaign for Dungeons of Drakkenheim, where we made a book based on the events of Season 1 of this very show. That book is now starting to make its way into the hands of all of our amazing backers in physical form. It's been available since December, digitally.
Huh.
Yeah. So now the physical products are all on the way. Many people have received theirs. For everyone else, thank you so much for your patience. This is always the most, I would say the hardest part of any Kickstarter project for a backer is the point when you know everything is finished, everything is on the way, and you are just waiting for that package to arrive. Having backed so many Kickstarter projects, I can tell you, I know that feeling of anticipation, especially when you start seeing people posting photos of their unboxings and everything, getting jealous. But thank you all so much for bearing with us. This is that point of the process where we are just totally at the whim of boats and ships and trucks and all those fun things, but everything's on their way. People are getting them and in their hands, and we're so glad with all the amazing positivity and that we've been seeing from people unboxing their stuff, and everything from people who have the miniatures painted already, which blows my mind.
Still waiting.
Yeah.
Done.
If it is any consolation, Canadians notoriously are always the last ones to get their things from Kickstarter at last. Kelly and I and everyone here, we haven't even got our packages yet.
We're waiting patiently.
Yeah.
So we feel you, because I'm sitting here like, where's the book that I wrote? I want to see it. I want to hold it.
We only have the pre-production copies that of like the print samples that came from the printers. So we haven't actually got like our final packaged form that all comes together. So yeah, that's the way of it. But it is so heartening to see all the positivity and the excitement that people have had, and also hearing the stories of everyone's campaigns, that many of which have been well underway now, is really amazing. We've seen, I think there's been obviously a lot of chatter on our Patreon, Discord, on our comments on our YouTube videos. I think there's even now a subreddit for Drakkenheim where people are sharing their stuff. But just all the amazing stories of all the campaigns, all the horrific, I think people have told us about their party wipes, as well as their victories and all the different decisions they've made. It's been really, really cool to see all that happening. But we've got some news to share with you all today. Kelly?
Well, if you were a fan of Dungeons of Drakkenheim, there was a lot of comments during the first Kickstarter. People were asking two very specific things about our first Kickstarter. The first question that we got all the time was, will this book include player content? And the answer at the time was no. The other thing was, I want to know more about the lore of the world of Drakkenheim. Unfortunately, our first book was very much focused on the city of Drakkenheim, so there wasn't a whole lot of world lore, and it was a adventure, so it wasn't full of player content. But Monty and I have been hard at work over the last several months, very hard at work, writing some brand new content that hopefully is exactly what everybody was asking for. And so we would like to officially announce Sebastian Crow's Guide to Drakkenheim. This is going to be a part 2, although you do not need to own the first book in order to enjoy this one, but it does expand on the world that was represented in Book 1. And if you are following our show, Sebastian Crow's Guide to Drakkenheim will include lots of lore of Westamar, Caspia, Illyria, and a bunch of other places that you may or may not have started to hear about in the show. Lots of information about the city of Liberio, where we currently are hanging out, but also brand new subclasses, at least one for every class, every core class that we're allowed to make subclasses for in 5th edition. And a brand new class for everybody to try out, designed by us, the Dungeon Dudes, that we are very excited
We're
to
so
show.
excited. Kelly and I have created a new class for 5th edition, which will have its own suite of all new subclasses. Our new subclass is called the Apothecary. Inspired by the investigators, mad scientists, and doctors of eldritch horror fiction, the Apothecary combines occult magic and medical knowledge, using their magic and expertise to both harm and heal. For the Apothecary is one who knows that the difference between a poison and a cure is just the dose. And so this is an intelligence-based spellcasting class. It is very customizable. It uses some of the lesser used styles of spellcasting that is only found on one other class in 5th edition. So we have created our own kind of spin on that style of spellcaster. It's a full caster all the way up to 9th level spells, though, with lots of customization options and new subclasses, including the Pathogenist, the Mutagenist, and the Reanimator. So we are very excited to share the new class, the new subclasses, and of course, all the amazing stories of the world of Drakkenheim. Kelly, should we show them the cover art?
I think we should.
Yeah, I don't know if chat actually is that interested in seeing the cover.
No?
Chad, are you interested?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
I mean...
Maybe some information.
It's not even
some
it's,
response.
It's not even a good cover, right? Like, it's not even. No, it's it's not even the background on my phone and the wallpaper on my computer, and I don't stare at it every day currently. But
all right, well, we can share it. I think here is the amazing cover of Sebastian Crow's Guide to Drakkenheim by the incredible Nathaniel Himoan, who is 9'6" at 9'6", and yes, featuring the high-level Sebastian Crow in a non-canonical encounter with the Duchess.
That was the funniest part. Is we're like, what monster are we going to put here? Did he? You know what? Sebastian Crow will tell the story about how he faced the Duchess. Well, sure. But yeah, it's really cool to see some artwork of high level Sebastian Crow with his academy gear rather than early level where he just has his duster jacket. He's upgraded, and we wanted the upgraded Sebastian Crow for this cover. And I worked very closely. I mean, I gave the artist like 3 pages of notes on. I was just like, if this is going to be the cover, I need Sebastian Crow to look exactly how I want Sebastian Crow to look, and they nailed it. I love it. I'm so excited by it. He even has all of his academy rings on.
Yes,
Ah.
yeah, you see all the Academy rings, the Staff of Power, all the details
Wow.
are on there. And we'll have plenty more art to share, including all new art of Rudy, Wilhelm, and Wrath. In fact, I think we've had 2 pieces of them so far.
Yeah.
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 And artwork of some very, very fantastic characters from the world of Drakkenheim. Because yes, in addition to the player-focused content that will be new rules content that you can use in your games, which also includes dozens of new spells,
Yeah.
new feats. We got new feats. And we'll see if we can squeeze in some magic items. We'll have to hit some stretch goals for that. We'll see if we can squeeze in some monsters. Have to hit some stretch goals for that. And yeah, and maybe a couple extra subclasses as well. But we have all a huge amount of lore for the world of Drakkenheim. And as we said, if you did not back the first Kickstarter, or you don't have a copy of Dungeons of Drakkenheim, these are complementary books, so they work very, very nicely together. But you don't need one, or you don't need them both to get a lot out of them. And all the player-focused content, if you're not running campaigns set in the world of Drakkenheim, you can use most of the player-focused content, with the slight warning that we have several new subclasses that interact with the contamination mechanics, and we recommend not necessarily using those subclasses unless you are playing in a campaign where contamination will be a factor. So because we found in our playtesting that when you let players do lots of contaminated magic, and they don't have to face the risk of contamination themselves, it's a little bit too good.
Yeah. One last thing I want to say about this book is there's a lot of player-focused content, but one thing that I'm really excited about is the lore section includes rumors, plot hooks, and adventure hooks. So it's not a fully fleshed out adventure like Dungeons of Drakkenheim was, but the lore section is meant to both inspire players for creating backstories. If you want your character to be from somewhere in the world of Drakkenheim, you can read up on the place that your character might be from. There's a lot to inspire stories about what your character wants from the world. Each of our subclasses, and actually a section that details the way that each class fits into the world, also has new personal quests based on
Every class and subclass.
Every class that you can pick.
Yeah.
So new ways to bring characters to life, but also if you're a DM and you also want to know a lot about the lore, because let's be honest, as DMs, we buy every book, even if it's a player-focused book, we buy it anyway. But there's a lot to inspire new adventures. There's enough in here that although it doesn't tell you how to run a Caspia campaign, you could read the Caspia section, look at the adventure hooks, and you could be like, oh, I have a million ideas for how to run a Caspia campaign now. So we got a lot in here. I'm really excited about it, and I think it's going to be great for anybody who wants to base any adventure in the world of Drakkenheim.
Yeah, there's so many plot hooks and so many ideas and just so much more. It was so much fun to grow and develop this world of political intrigue and dark fantasy and cosmic terror, and really see what happens in this place beyond the walls of Drakkenheim. And of course, we've been exploring that in our live stream games and our campaigns, and so it was a really great opportunity working on this to make that world really flourish and grow. And there's so many things. There's so many places I want to go in the show now.
Yeah, that's the problem is I think season 3 got a lot longer while we were writing this book because there's so much to look at and see now. There's places that Monty and I didn't even know existed when we started the book. I just a little story, and then I think we should probably get on with it. But one little story that I will say is probably my favorite moment writing this book was Monty and I were working on the map of the continent, which will be in this book. And we got to a point where we were like, all right, Westamar, Illyria, Caspia, there they all are. And then Monty just circled a section of the map and went, well, this doesn't feel like part of Caspia. And I turned to him and I went, well, then what is it? And from that moment, we started circling all these different areas of the map, and now the world is a lot bigger. And that's very exciting because now there's more people, there's more places, there's more lore, there's more history. And it's really exciting to just have the world grow in front of us as we created this book.
Yeah, so there are new nations that we have not met yet on the show, that we have not visited yet. There will be, of course, we also will be using this as an opportunity to make a whole bunch of fun accessories. So if you enjoyed the previous stuff, I can say there will be a poster-sized map of the continent, maybe some miniatures, maybe some dice, maybe some fun cards, maybe some other fun stuff. We will see, and lots of awesome material to use in your games, of course.
So excited. Wow.
So fun!
Yeah. So the for those of you that are waiting, make sure that you head on over to Drakkenheim.com. We will, if you did back the first Kickstarter, you will get notifications and everything like that when things are coming along, as well. But I believe it will be launching mid-August. So hopefully that will give everyone time to get their hands on the first Kickstarter. I really hope everything is all delivered by then. You know, we had everything out the door, but these things happen. So hopefully by then we'll have everything in everyone's hands, and we'll have a wonderful time through August, and I think it'll be wrapping up mid-September. So stay tuned for the exact dates and times and everything like that. But follow all the links, hit up Drakkenheim.com, follow us on all our socials to learn when the campaign exactly goes live. With that, though, I would like to play some D&D.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Drakkenheim is no more. The devastation which fell upon that accursed place left a kingdom in ruin. Now, horrors lurking in the haze grow ever more great and terrible, while simmering tensions between rival factions boil over into outright war. The power of monarchs, mages, and priests hangs in the balance. 6 unlikely heroes join forces to confront the coming chaos. They shall decide, once and for all, the fate of Drakkenheim.
Welcome back to the fate of Drakkenheim. When last we left our heroes, Sebastian, Rudy, and Wrath were traveling in the bowels of the Enigma Ziggurat, there to make contact with the Archmage, also Wrath's father, one of the 8 directors of the Amethyst Academy. With them is none other than Katarina von Kessel, aka the Queen of Thieves, as they make their way through the deep depths of the Enigma Ziggurat, through forbidden passages not traversed even by members of the Amethyst Academy, towards the Director's stronghold. After battling several ferocious dragon-like creatures on a set of shifting stairs, our heroes have now come to another set of passages where they encountered several cockatrice pets of the Archmage Alabaster, who Wrath exploded.
Their minds. We needed to keep their bodies in perfect condition.
And so you now stand in this ancient hall deep in the Enigma Ziggurat, and the brains of these leathery birds splattered across the hallways. The place that you are in seems like some sort of engine room. There are passages of water flowing and pumps. The sound of steam can be heard in the air, and it's quite humid down here in these corridors. The bodies of one of the birds twitch as Bruce prances forward to lick up some of the brain matter.
I carefully stand over and begin to take one of the other bodies and slump it into my sack.
Wrath, is this a normal greeting for you and your between you and your dad? You blow up his pets. Should we be concerned?
These are not his. These are Bruce's.
Yeah, but before they were Bruce's, did they, like, when you say they were Bruce's, do you mean they were Bruce's as of 6 seconds ago?
It is no matter. Nothing is owned. Everything is destined for Bruce's belly. Including you. One day you will disappear, and you will be broken down into the smallest component. And as you drift through the stars, Bruce will consume you. It is something that is comforting. It comforts even me.
I'm the opposite of comfortable.
Nights.
Not feeling great about that, Wrath.
No, I'm very uncomfortable.
Yeah, not really enthusiastic about that either. Cat chimes in.
No matter. What is done. We cannot look back. He demanded to be fed. And I serve him.
Yeah.
On the bright side, it's entirely possible these creatures might have attacked us.
You saw them. They came right at us. It was self-defense.
Not quite, but we've had our run-ins with birds before, and I don't trust them. So
Yes, if you thought ducks were bad, these are.
Why would ducks be bad?
These are the.
Oh, that's a long story, Sebastian. I'll tell you about it at a later time.
Yeah, you've never encountered.
Have you guys fought ducks?
Oh yeah. Well.
We quarreled.
Yeah, we had a disagreement, and we don't like to talk about it very much. It was very scarring, but we defeated them nonetheless.
It seems you two have a knack for disagreements with fowl?
Avian enemies.
Noted. Well,
I believe your comrade would agree with us. I'm sure she does not enjoy the winged variety.
Birds of a feather.
I take Crowley off my shoulder and tuck him back into my into my jacket. Well, Wrath,
let's proceed.
Lead the way, I guess.
Just let's see here. We'll head up. Ooh. We'll just start heading through the corridors.
Okay. So the passage here, a set of stairs lead down to a small canal. The water is flowing here, so that you have a sense of that. The water is flowing in this direction. And so it then passes into a very narrow and small, not drain really. There's sort of an archway with several bars through it, a grate. The water slides into that, and then into the darkness beyond, with then a set of doors to your south and a short set of stairs leading upwards to the north. A small bridge has been erected across the canal.
Wrath, what are your fatherly feelings telling you? Which direction are we going?
I'm gonna listen in and think about the time he missed my dance recital.
Your dance recital.
It was a classic dance that I had trained for many weeks, and he was too busy with his work, And so that feeling of disappointment being on stage, not seeing him in the audience.
Hmm. Incidentally,
Channel
the,
that.
the most direct pull that you feel is the flow of the water.
Does the water look clean? Or is it...
The water is certainly not water that you would want to drink. However, it is not polluted. It almost smells stale, as if the water is being recycled or reused. Examining it a little bit more, there are traces and flecks of some sort of silt through it. Perhaps the water is being used for some kind of industrial process, or some sort of to power some sort of engine or some sort of construct of some kind, but then is being flowed back through the system to be used.
This whole place is some sort of engine room, it would seem. Wrath, how much do you know about the inner workings of the Enigma ziggurat?
It's beyond me. I don't even know how many scholars have mapped out the entire system and put together all its components. I believe a lot of our reliability relies on it, things just working. I don't believe I've seen everything that makes it go.
Indeed, few members of the Academy have either, and no one ever seems to be able to answer the question who exactly or how exactly the Enigma ziggurat floats.
Who it floats and how it floats.
Yes, as in like who manages it, who runs it, who pilots it, if you
Right,
will.
right.
Yes, right, or who drives it. It hasn't ever moved from the location that it's in, but if anyone is controlling it or piloting it, that person is not known. Ostensibly, many assume that it must be the directors, but or one of the grandmasters, but no one's ever. Unlike, say, where in Paradox Castle, you would be able to be like, "Who's the headmaster of Paradox Castle?" and people would be able to tell you. Here, if you ask who drives the Enigma ziggurat, no one would answer the question.
I mean, I'm fighting the urge to want to solve the mystery of the Enigma ziggurat, but then I guess it wouldn't be an enigma anymore.
Just a regular old ziggurat after
Yeah.
you're done with it.
That's right. Wrath, what are you feeling?
The water, it takes us to where we need to go. I believe we just have to find our way on the other side of this drainage.
Well, that's just great, I say, pointing to the grate that is blocking the flow of water.
I would suggest going around. And I gesture to the stairs that appear to lead just to our left.
As he points to the stairs, I walk across the bridge.
Okay.
Where's he going?
The stairs lead up to a short landing. Reveal, not conceal. Why does this always happen to me? The stairs lead up to a short landing, whereas the opposite side, Sebastian, this is a door right here. A large set of metal doors that don't appear to have hinges. But there are large handles in the middle.
What's this thing over here? Is this just...
That itself looks to be part of a pump sort of contraption that is part of the canals. So there are several pipes that are leading in and out of it, and it is sort of making a soft chugging noise. There is one of those kind of accordion style.
Right.
Oh my god, I'm losing the word for it.
But I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like the big bellows lungs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
And there's like a low hum in the room?
Yeah, and then there's a hum and a hiss of like shh. Yeah.
I'm without turning around, I'm like taking all this in, and I'm like, Wrath, I will go up the stairs in a second. It's not every day that I get to set foot in the engine room of the Enigma Ziggurat. I'm just interested.
Well, if it's the engine room, don't be touching nothing in here.
I'm poking the lung.
I go over and I like grab your hand and I say, "Do you want this place falling to the ground?"
I mean, it would be interesting, wouldn't it?
We'd also kill a ton of people and ourselves, most likely.
I do hope that it is not relying on this single. But Rudy's right. You wish to explore?
I mean, we're exploring anyway. I'm gonna walk up to these doors and grab the handles and try to push and or pull them.
You push, you pull, you push, you pull, you push, you pull, and it becomes obvious to Rudy and Wrath before it's obvious to you that this is a sliding door.
Walk up and I just...
And I turn to you. Just kidding.
Door
happens
joke?
to everyone.
Yeah.
Classic Sebastian Crow door joke.
Yeah.
Not so funny.
The hallway beyond is not in good condition. Sliding the doors open reveals a short hallway that has partially collapsed, with the mortar of the internal parts rushing over several splayed out pipes, and there's a spray of water throughout this hallway as well. So something has been damaged internally. There's puddles of water between the wrecked stonework, but the ziggurat's still in the air. The hallway ends very quickly before veering off to the east again.
See, Wrath, it's a good thing I opened this door. You probably should report to your father that we'll need maintenance down here.
I do not know if he has been down here in quite some time. He seems to be so caught up with his work, but I'm sure he knows who to report it to. Do you want to go down there? Monty, do I have any recollection of going down this way in the past to visit my father? Or is this all sort of new and it like changes every time?
It is always slightly different each time you are down here.
So it could be the right way, it could be the wrong way. I actually don't have any sort of bearing on it.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we're at a fork in the roads, it looks like. We're either taking the regular, everyday, normal stairs or the dilapidated hallway.
The only thing that you do recall, Wrath, is that the flow of the water should lead you.
The hallway bends in the correct direction. Lead the way.
Me?
I will. And sorry, I guess. I'm gonna head down the hallway.
Okay, heading down the hallway opens into a large pillared chamber. There is a stage set in this room, a raised area, where there are two large metallic bowls that look like they have been clad in armor, and there is a soft green gas coming out of their nostrils. But the two creatures, the two creatures or statues or whatever they are, stand firmly in place. 4 pillars support this hallway, each pillar engraved with different markings depicting the 4 spheres of the elemental planes: earth, water, fire, and air, and the decorations noting the different ways in which energy can be extracted from that element. So there is one depiction where the water is flowing over a windmill, and then there is another depiction where the fire is being used to boil water, that is then the steam is being used, and then there is a water mill and a windmill, and then the earth is actually depicting volcanic activity being used as geothermal power on each of the pillars. In the midst of the four of the pillars, there is a dais where there is a large stone slab that has been set up as a altar with several rune stones that have been placed on the top of it, and there are clearly 4 wands that are placed on the slab as well, all pointed towards what looks to be a glass casing that has a delirium crystal inside it that is in place. It's a glass tube that stretches from the altar to the ceiling itself, and then in the alcoves to the north end of the room, those 3 alcoves each also house another glass tube with a delirium crystal in it too. It looks like the glass tubes actually, at alternating points as you come into the room, each of the glass tubes are firing an element across the delirium crystal of some kind, resonating with it, and then it thrums with energy.
Are we getting, as I kind of look into this room, am I getting vibes that are similar to the lighthouse? Or is it a different... So I'm trying to think back to the room where sort of matter was like manipulated and changed in that very specific room.
If give me an Arcana check.
Oh.
You have something with Arcana.
Yeah, and it's gonna turn a 1 into a 4. Oh wait, and do I get maybe if I'm allowed proficiency, it's an 8.
Even with the whispers of Bruce's knowledge in your mind, what exactly the purpose of this is not clear. It doesn't look like it's related to what you saw at the lighthouse, however. The most obvious thing that you can tell is that this was definitely not made by elves.
Okay. Pre-elf.
Now, do we want to be messing in this room, or do we want to see if there's a way around this? Or
the room does continue as well, leading a short hallway exits this room, leading to, you can see a collapsed section at the end, but then there are hallways that lead to the north and south.
I don't plan on messing around with anything in this room, but I am gonna, as I enter the room, I'm gonna walk up to the contraption in the middle. I have my notepad out and I'm like jotting down little notes of just what things look like in here. Can I discern any sort of idea on how to operate or what the purpose of this machine is?
Give me an investigation check.
That's going to be a 13.
Certainly this is some kind of control system, but with your check result, how these controls work and what they control, you can't tell. Ostensibly, there's some kind of energy, perhaps some kind of fuel or something that is operating in this room, but what it is and how it works, who knows?
Fighting the urge to push this random button.
I go up to him again, grab his wrist and say, and what if this is what causes the ziggurat to fall? Why are you pressing buttons?
It's something I like to do.
Bet you gets in a lot of trouble, doesn't it, Sebastian?
I'm still here. So are my friends. What's the worst that has happened?
Well, it sounds like from that conversation we had something pretty bad with your friend.
Yeah, didn't one of your friends...
Okay, we're not talking about that. That wasn't a pushing a button situation. That was very different.
In a place like this, could be the push of a button that causes any of us to go.
I didn't push the button. I said out loud that I was fighting the urge to, and that is progress, I believe we call it.
I'm very proud of you, Sebastian, but don't let that want turn into actual.
Although it is alluring, everything in here is a mystery waiting to be solved. Do you think you understand it? Have you seen anything like this before?
No, that's why it's so fascinating. I know that this is a controls of some sort for something, but I don't know. Not many people talk about what goes on inside the Enigma Ziggurat in the Academy. All my time in Paradox Castle, you know, we learn about some of the strongholds. We definitely don't learn about all of them. There's some that we don't learn anything about. And then there's this one that we know the name of, we know where it is, we know some things about it, but that makes it more mysterious, doesn't it? That the Enigma Ziggurat is one of the largest strongholds of the Academy, and yet so full of mystery. Nobody's mapped the entire thing.
Cat chimes in. All the Academy strongholds are like that. The Amethyst Academy didn't build a single one. They're all squatting in the ruins of the Sorcerer Kings.
And what secrets of the Sorcerer King still lie buried in these strongholds? I mean, I spent a lot of years trying to map out all of Paradox Castle. It gets confusing because it's never the same twice. You know, you write down where a hallway leads, and an hour later it leads somewhere different, so it's just always so curious. Anyway, I'm not pressing any buttons.
I'll just say some advice I used to tell my kids, and Wrath, this applies to you especially. Curiosity killed the cat, so you best be careful.
He did not die. He evolved. And now he is my master. His curiosity brought him across worlds.
Oh.
It will apply to simple house cats, but not Bruce.
I find that curiosity leads to all sorts of delightful troubles, as long as you don't let it get the better of you. After all, this is a fascinating place, isn't it?
One thing I am interested in is the size of these delirium crystals. How big are they? The one in the middle, and then the three in the.
They're all roughly the same size. They're quite large for crystals. Definitely some of the bigger samples. Not like a full geode, but large crystals for sure.
That's a lot of power.
It's a lot of danger.
Mm.
I wonder how you get them in.
I wonder how long they've been here.
That's a good question.
This room was built for the purpose that it serves now. And it was long before.
Do the devices that are holding the delirium crystals seem newer than the rest of the objects in this room?
That's an interesting question. Why don't you examine?
I will help you.
Yeah,
Cool.
Give me an investigation check with advantage.
$25.
Searching around the stonework, you can certainly tell. First of all, these are the only things made of glass that you've seen so far. And there is very clear signs in the stonework that these have been cut in and installed, not part of the original construction.
Well, that's mildly reassuring, actually. It seems upgrades were added, which also implies that the Enigma ziggurat does not require delirium to fly. I jot this down in my notes. These were installed after, so this room might not be part of what's making the ziggurat fly, but some sort of power system for, I don't know, invention, development.
What about these bulls over here with the...
I mean, I can tell you that I have smuggled, through my contacts and through my networks, more delirium to Liberio, to the Enigma Ziggurat, than anywhere else in the world. The appetite for delirium here is insatiable. The amount of coin it's filled my coffers with, my... Sometimes I forget all the hiding places that I've established for all the money I've made.
Less reassuring. Thanks, Kat. Wrath, I'm beginning to worry that your father and I are not going to see eye to eye on some things.
Wouldn't be the first.
Well, before I start pressing buttons, should we move on?
I believe we know what we need to know, but yes, we must get back to the water. We
There's
must
nothing this way?
find a way to
Well, I think
Finally.
left would lead us back towards the water.
correct.
Yes, the hallway itself, the wider part of it, ends in rubble, the passageway having entirely collapsed. However, there are side passages heading off of the wider passage. One, there's a door right there. This is the one here that leads to the south. And again, I'm just saying south for the purposes of the map. It's actually not possible that which direction you're actually facing is unknown. And then the north as well.
So I guess we head back towards the water. I say as I go and listen to the door that leads away from the water.
Listening, the door that leads away from the water actually has some very impressive reinforcements added to it. It looks like it is etched with several arcane runes, and the handle of it is actually like a vault wheel that you would have to crank open and to open up. And there are several very clearly glowing arcane runes upon this. The other doorway is not decorated as such.
I'm gonna leave this door alone. I just wanted to see what it looked like and how it felt, and it feels like somewhere we shouldn't go.
I go to the opposite side.
Okay. The other doorway is far plainer. It is a sliding door just like the other one, but just a one-sided one. Like, just not a double set, just one slide out of the way.
I slide it and I look over at Sebastian.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Okay. This doorway slides open into a massive chamber of canals. It is a very, very large room with water flowing into it from two directions. One corresponding to the way that you came previously, and one flowing down from the north, and then flowing out in this way. This room is covered in several thrumming pillars and engines and pipes. So the pillars that are in this chamber holding it up are actually pipelines. You can see that they're leaking and perspiring various fluids off of them, and you can hear the sounds of more thrumming and hissing machinery all throughout the room. Humidity fills the air, and it's actually quite warm in this chamber. Little illuminates the room, except for several dancing lights that linger in the air like motes. Through this chamber, however, are several creatures. They are humanoid in shape, but grotesque in their visages. All of them, the they immediately, as you open the door, they immediately let out a hiss. And all of them are garbed in tattered robes of purple. Some of them even wearing rings on their fingers or holding various things. Their hair is falling out. Their skin has turned a color of sort of this bruised sort of purple blue. All in all, there are 6 such creatures in this room, except for one, which is considerably larger than the rest. It just has a tattered loincloth over its exposed ribs, several delirium shards sticking out of its shoulders, and its skin has almost become translucent. One in the middle holds a gnarled staff and has a bit of a pot belly and a flabby chin. And as you enter the room, they all turn, their eyes glowing with octarine light and their teeth sharp like knives. Several of them, their mouths are almost kind of double jointed or distended, and they have rows and rows of razor-like teeth within their mouths and claws like daggers.
Wrath, should you ask them where your dad is? I assume these are friends of your father's?
These are
Were
not
your siblings?
pets or birds.
Why do they look like Academy members?
This
What's
may
your
be
father
those
been
that have
doing?
spent too much time in the catacombs. In the depths of the ziggurat, those that are lost, we may have just found them.
Or your dad is doing some really bad experiments on people.
Well, seems like we'll just have to ask him.
The creatures, as you enter into the room, the one with the flabby chin says, "Hi, Wrath. Welcome back home. Come to see Daddy."
Know my name?
Don't you recognize your siblings?
The resemblance is uncanny.
Sebastian.
I do not know these creatures, but they might have been what my father warned us about.
Several of the others speak almost in unison. One actually has 4 sets of arms that are spindly like spiders and double jointed, and waves at you. "How's River doing?" it says. "She hasn't been back in a while."
Yes, she has been busy. Now, we must speak to Father.
Another speaks up. "What do you want with Papa? What do you want to talk to him for? You know he's busy."
I've already arranged a meeting. We must introduce my compatriot. She is a member of the Academy, and she has business with him.
Business.
Yes, business. It is of no concern to you. It is Academy business, and it is of the utmost secret in nature.
The big one speaks. "Well, you go see Daddy. We can play with your friends while you talk to him."
They are required also. Their presence is necessary.
The one with the many arms and spindly limbs. "Father doesn't like guests. You know that. They'll be safer with us.
I reach into my bag and I pull out the corpse of one of the birds.
They all scream. "Ah!"
And I throw it on the ground and I say, just like you protected them.
And several of them react to the corpse of the. You killed Father's birds? You killed his birds?
They were dead when we arrived. And that same fate will not befall my traveling companions.
I'm telling on you.
No,
I'm telling on you. You're gonna be in trouble. I'm telling on you.
That's not fair. It all happened really fast. And look, I'll make you a deal.
We better tell Papa. Yeah, we'll tell Dad. Yeah, if we tell Father, he'll be so mad. He'll be so mad at you, Wrath.
Okay. I will make you a deal.
Papa's gonna let us eat you.
This is the deal. I will give you... I reach into my bag and I produce... I'm just double checking the actual amount, but some chunks of delirium, some five shards and 2 crystals, and I present them in my hand. I go, if you
All
do
of them
not-
stop for a moment when you pull the shinies, shinies, crystals. Oh.
If you promise not to tell Father, you can have half now and the rest when we leave.
One of them crosses their arms. Well, I want mine now. Yeah, I want mine now. And the other with the flabby chin says, I want one of the big ones. And then the other says, no, I want one of the big ones. And all of a sudden, they're all crying out, yeah, who gets the big one? Who gets the small one? Well, I'm going to tell on you if I don't get one of the big ones.
I'm going to put them into a sack, a small pouch. And then as I approach the bridge, I'm gonna throw them off into the corner.
As you put them in the satchel, Rudy, Sebastian, do you two want to do anything?
I just lean over to Rudy. I'm like, is this going terrible or is it just me?
I don't necessarily trust giving them more delirium, especially if they're going to turn on us, which is highly likely from what it sounds like. But
All they look for, they are stuck down here. They have nothing else but my father, their brothers and sisters from the outside world, and delirium.
Can we get
It's
past
not
them?
enough. Give us the delirium on his stick. And they point at Sebastian's staff.
Yeah,
We should have that too. That'll make it more equal.
I sidestep so that I'm behind this pillar. I just try to disappear out of view. I just.
You can
What,
have-
you don't want to play with us?
You know what? He is an academy mage, and he's much more powerful than many of the mages around here. I wouldn't mess with him if I were you.
I was an
Very-
academy mage.
So
Yes.
powerful.
Yeah, we're all mages, yes. Yes, I'm Papa's favorite. No, I'm the favorite. Ah!
You know, I bet the favorite would be the only one left in the end, you know? But looks like you're all here. Two chicken to try and beat the others.
Dig deep. Rudy, do you have any leftover delirium? Anything to bribe them with? Sebastian?
I'm rifling through my bag, leaning against this pillar.
The one with the several spindly arms crosses her arms and says, "I'm telling," and hops across the canal towards one of the doorways.
If you tell, no one gets any delirium.
If I tell, Father will give me some. And then another says, "No, I'm gonna tell too, and Father will give me some delirium too." We'll both tell, but I'm telling first. She's moving to leave.
I pull out a potion of aqua delirium, and I also approach the towards the bridge, and I'm like, "I have it in liquid form, delicious, drinkable, and full of power. I will give this aqua delirium potion to anybody brave enough to not tell Father that we are here. Wait, no, we want him to know we're here.
But not
Wrath,
about
what are we
the
trying to
ten.
do?
Not about the birds.
Not about the birds, right. The birds. No
me-
bird talk.
All right, give me a persuasion check.
No bird talk.
No bird talk.
I'm gonna get 23.
The biggest one with the translucent skin says, "Yeah, I want it," and reaches to grab the other two and hold them from. "I want that drink. That's gonna be my juice. You don't tell on them. I want the juice."
See, it is a perfectly acceptable trade. Now, will the rest of you not fall in line and let me discuss with Father, and then you can have your treats?
Give me a persuasion check.
It's only gonna be a 7.
Oh, Wrath.
There is an uproar of laughter from the siblings as they all say, "You'll have to do better. He's getting extra. What about us? Yeah, I want juice."
Well, you can always kill him and then he can't have your juice. Is that gonna work?
They give me a deception check.
That's gonna be an 18.
They say, "He's bigger than us. He'll squish us. We can't kill him."
There are more of you than him. You have strength in numbers.
The bigger one says, "Are you telling them to gang up on me? I'll squish you." and he takes the two that he's holding and he hurls them towards you, Sebastian.
Uh-oh.
This is a step in the right direction, I guess.
And the two go flying and land on the other side, prone. And he starts rushing towards. "You want them to beat me up? I'll beat you up, scrawny little one. I'll take your fancy stick and your juice."
No, not my juice. I'm going to take the
Rudy,
aqua
do you want to
Okay.
intervene?
Yeah, we got it under control.
Can I cast a spell?
What would you like to cast?
Enlarge on myself.
Okay.
I cast enlarge and I say, "Listen, if you're gonna pick on some of these tiny guys," is that I don't know my voice?
Big Rudy.
Listen,
Rudy.
I can take you on. And I like hit my axe against my chest and I say, don't you pick on them, you bully.
She's so big.
Oh! All right, Rudy, give me an intimidation check with advantage.
Ooh, let's see.
Was she always that big?
This is one of her many traits.
18.
18. The big ones, several of the others are very intimidated looking, but the big one says, "You're not my mom!"
And I say, listen, I'm everyone's mom. I push him.
All right, give me an athletics check.
18.
Is that your total?
Yeah.
You go to push him, and he grabs you and starts wrestling with you on the bridge. Don't touch me! Don't touch me! Don't touch me! He says, and he actually is now grabbing you.
Can I do one thing as I see Rudy start to engage with the bigger one?
Yeah.
I want to move my hex from the winged creature that was
Destroyed, yep.
back onto this larger creature and affect the ability of strength.
Okay. It's gonna go and it's gonna try to throw you in the water, Rudy. So I need another opposed athletics check. But I have disadvantage now. Oh, that really sucked.
Mine also not great. 12.
I only get a 10.
Ah!
That disadvantage turned a 22 into a 10. So he tries to. Do you want to push back?
Oh yeah.
What do you want to do?
I want to try to just take my axe, which I assume is enlarged as well, and just like shove him in the gut.
Okay.
So he like doubles over.
Yeah, we'll do a shove check.
Is that athletic strength?
Yep.
Okay. I get advantage on strength.
And I have
checks.
disadvantage because of my hex.
That's strength. So if it's strength, it's 22.
All right, you shove the big creature back. His translucent skin is like gelatin as you touch it, pushing the creature back. It stumbles backward, and you can see his organs sloshing inside. He says, "You're not the boss of me. You're not the boss of me." And one of the others says, "Yeah, but she's bigger than you."
I say, are those the kind of manners that your mother and father taught you? They'd be ashamed.
And they say, "Our mother and father didn't teach us anything." One of them starts crying in the corner.
Yeah.
Rudy, they are the other children. They did not receive the love.
Hey, if I create a distraction, are we ready to just walk right past these guys? Because I think we can.
I'm ready.
While all this is going on, I'm tell me if I can do this. I'm gonna take my scarf, wrap my hand around my scarf, grab one of the little delirium shards from Wrath, and I'm gonna look at the guy with the gross chin, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, you wanted these? Catch!" And I'm just gonna throw it towards him.
And he doesn't catch it. He fumbles it and drops it. And several of the others go to dive towards the delirium just to hold it.
And now's our time.
We were like, run away!
And Rudy's pushed this guy back off the bridge, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's pushed them back off the bridge. As she does so, Kat chimes in and says, "Let's just get out of here."
Let's go. And yeah, I'm going to start booking it towards the door that those two were heading towards. Hopefully they're all distracted by the delirium shard.
Okay. Kat which door are you heading towards?
I'm heading towards this one.
Okay. As you do so, Kat rushes up. I forgot her token in the other room. She's gonna Misty Step herself out and over. And Rudy, Wrath, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna give chase with Sebastian just on his tail as he runs past. I just take a moment and then
Are these guys
book it
still
with him.
Yeah, they're still
I guess
prone.
we can go
Yeah.
with.
These ones are all kind of now fighting over this delirium shard here.
I'm gonna throw another one too, just off to the north end
Okay.
to try to keep them.
Yeah, and this guy's been
Occupado.
shoved back. Yeah.
Okay, if I can make my way behind. Yeah. Houdini is tiny with me.
All right. As with the distraction in place, all of you are able to book it out through the door as they squabbling and the sounds of possibly one of them being torn apart over the delirium throughout them.
Sucks to suck.
So I'm gonna say probably, yeah, like about half the delirium. Maybe like one or two. We still have a few pieces left, but
Okay.
I'm like ushering you off. Can Rudy fit through the door? I like hold the door open
Yeah,
for
she
her.
can squeeze through. Yeah.
The enlarge will like adjust itself.
And then I slam the door closed behind us. Is there any way to like lock it from in here?
As you slam the door, the door shut, Kat pulls out her wand and casts arcane lock on the door.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
I heard that was an effective trick.
I mean, I've
You heard right.
I've never found a use for that spell. I forgot it years ago.
Oh,
But-
great for locking your enemies on the other side,
It's-
especially if they're like
It's
them.
honestly that and explosive runes are two of my favorite spells. You have to make sure that all of your personal accommodations are properly secured. Do you just sleep in a tiny hut?
Yes.
You
Close
do know that you can just dispel those, right?
Yeah, but who's gonna take the time? Listen, I'm realizing in the last year or so that most of the spells I ignored in school actually have a lot of practical uses. Turns out it shouldn't all be fireballs and shadow magic.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're counting on Tiny Hut keeping you safe from the Amethyst Academy, I mean, I'm sorry, but they...
Well, I have an apartment in the Inscrutable Tower. I don't need to be kept safe from the Amethyst Academy. The Academy loves me sometimes.
Yes, because you're staying in the Inscrutable Tower where they can probably watch your every move and listen to every single conversation you have.
Yeah, it's mostly me talking to my mom and eating towels, so it's not like they're...
muffling.
Yeah. Most of the private conversations I have in my tiny hut.
Well, let's continue. What is this? And there is a short set of stairs that lead up to the continuation of the canal. And here, however, the canal picks up speed. You hear the flowing and rushing of water, for in the southern chamber, even though the collapse from the other chamber, the water still flows through, and it begins to pick up a rushing speed in this darker chamber. For there is placed in the water, there are several handles and bars, as if you could sit in this water to ready yourself to kind of go down it like a slide.
Wrath?
We must follow the water.
Your dad's office is at the end of a water slide.
Yes, it is most protected. He is constantly coming up with new and innovative ways to keep solicitors at bay.
Oh, lie. I thought Caspia was the only place with a water park.
Water park.
What is this water park?
Where is this water park?
The Caspian Canyon. They have some waterfalls there that they've built slides. Anyway, it's complicated. It's, I don't know. Caspians are crazy.
Should take my grandkids there. They'd have a ball.
That does sound fun.
So are we?
I'm going to dismiss Bruce, and sort of doing my best to follow the procedure, like sitting where it looks like you would get in the water with where the handles are, and then I'm going to. Do
you want me to shove you down? It'll go real fast.
Rudy, if you would, a push, please.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go!
Swoosh! And he disappears into the darkness of the slide.
Who's next?
Kat, I think you should go next.
Well, I'm glad not to go first, and I'd prefer not to go last. So it's just as good as any. See you on the other side.
All right, Rudy.
You ready?
I get in and I'm like, launch me.
And there Sebastian goes.
Then I sit down in the water because it's been a minute, and I shrink back down. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to go as fast as the rest of y'all. Dang. And I pull myself anyways.
The slide begins slowly as it descends into the darkness on a steeper incline, but begins curving slightly. The water rushes around you. A strange wave of warmth. The water takes hold with eddies of freezing cold, giving you a combination of soothing warmth on your skin and goosebumps every moment. It is completely and utterly dark. Could not see your hand in front of your face, even with your dark vision. And as you progress down the slide, you hear the trickle of the water and the slow whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. If you call out, you hear the echo of your own voice, but not that of your companions. The slide and the riverway that you're on makes it impossible to control the speed that you move at. And there truly is no earthly way of knowing sometime quite what direction you are going. There's no way of knowing which direction the water's flowing, or which way you might be rowing. Slowly, gradually, flashes of light hit your peripheral vision. It's not unlike the splashes of color that you see when you close your eyes. But after a short time, they begin to dance and grow and take on a shape of their own. Flashes of color moving and going across. And you see strange sights before you. Faces, you think, drawn out of your imagination. Places that you could not imagine. Perhaps a bit of rain, a bit of snow, maybe even a hurricane, destroying a city. Visions come before. Perhaps the danger. The river keeps on going, and it's certainly not showing any sign it is slowing. You feel a scream bursting up through your throats.
Ah!
I think I'm dead. I'm dead. I think I've died.
And that is where we're going to take our break. Okay. Well, with that, we will be back in just a few minutes. And we are back from our short rest. We have restocked on our consumables, and we're ready to play some more D&D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Water
Okay.
slide. Slip sliding away.
Yeah, as you continue to slip slide away, there is a sudden thunk as you are ejected out from the slide. You've arrived. With surprisingly dry, you are standing on the edges of a pool of water. You land almost miraculously on your feet around the edges of the water. The three of you and Kat stand in the midst of an elaborate workshop filled with thrumming pistons, steam engines, machines, all of them anchored around various lanterns connected with glass and cables to great delirium geodes hanging from the ceiling as arcing lightning echoes through the chamber, pulled from the eldritch power of the delirium shards into the various engines thrumming around the room. The rest of the chamber is in disarray, for it is the arcane workshop of one that could only be described as a madman. There are parts of half-finished magical items, constructs, golems, pieces of strange arcane machinery scattered about, and stacks upon stacks of parts, pieces, half-finished creations, and tank after tank after tank after tank of bubbling liquid containing all manner of creatures, body parts, organ samples, and other various organic parts and plants. Several of the tanks are blends where it is hard to tell where the metal ends and the flesh begins. And whether these are being used to gestate such creatures or simply to store them for future use. However, prominently placed on several slabs throughout the chamber are several mechanical constructs. Their bodies made of plates of meteoric iron bound together by wood and stone with porcelain faces. They lay inert, but before them is a massive version of one of these constructs, one that would be dwarf even the executioner of Drakkenheim. Tinkering with the creature on a ladder is the Archmage Alabaster, wearing just a light jerkin and slacks. He has an apron with several wands and arcane components, and he is very carefully opening the chest piece of this massive construct, and floating beside him on a magical disc of force are several large delirium geodes, and he is using his mage hand to take the delirium geodes and carefully load them into the chest piece of this massive construct. And as you take in your surroundings, you can see Kat's eyes are wide, like a child in a candy store, as she looks around, intently taking in all the sights around her. The Archmage stops, looks down at Wrath, makes eye contact with each of you. His golden glowing eyes, with his pale lavender skin and slight beard, despite the dust and grime and dirt all around him, he himself is immaculate. He looks at Wrath. "I'm very busy, so this better be fast," and steps down from the ladder.
Don't touch anything. We will speak when spoken to. We're here.
I have the same look that Kat has as I'm looking around the room in awe.
And I'm just here, like, all right, let's get this over with. Like, I'm ready to get out of here. I look chill about it, but inside I'm a bit scared.
Father, these are my companions. Sebastian Crow, Rudy Whitaker, and I believe you have met Katerina von Kessel.
All right, what do you want? What is the meaning of all this?
I really appreciate the time that you're taking to meet with us. It is Kat. She wished to speak. She had been trying for some time, and she has some pressing and urgent business to discuss with you.
Yes, indeed. This is quite a fascinating workshop, Archmage. Very impressive. Sebastian, what do you think?
I've never seen anything like this. I mean, it's incredible. What? It seems dangerous, though. You're infusing these creatures with delirium.
Delirium is a powerful component.
Yes.
The Academy, as you know, uses it for almost everything.
My
father has been building these machines for some time.
I don't want to hold up the meeting, but Kat, I hate to do this. I know that we've had a bit of a romp through these hallways, but this meeting is about to start, and you need to make good on your word. And I hold out my hand. I'm still looking around the room, but I hold out my hand towards her.
Ah, yes. Pardon me, Archmage. It has been rather costly for me to secure this meeting with you, and I must make sure that my debts are paid first. She produces the chest, waves her hand in front of it. The larger chest appears, and she produces the scepter of Saint Vitruvio, places it in your hand, Sebastian.
Giving it a quick look, does this look legit? Like, can I do a quick analysis?
Yeah.
Or even, I mean, while the meeting gets started, can I cast Identify on it?
Yeah, you certainly can. It looks pretty authentic, off the cuff. I mean, you've never seen it before in person.
Yeah.
So you have to take Kat at her word, really, for it.
Mm.
But
Does it feel holy?
A little.
Does it feel like the flame burns through it?
I feel uncomfortable holding it. That's usually a good sign.
Yeah, that's definitely a good sign.
Thanks, Kat. And I put it in my bag of holding.
a very good trade. She regards the Archmage. Well, I can see that all the delirium that the Academy has bought from me has really gone to very good use. I hope that it's been fruitful for you, sir. And the Alabaster smiles briefly and replies, "Yes, delirium is the ultimate philosopher's stone. Its transformative properties are supreme, unlike anything else. Using it, I could create anything, even life."
I mean,
I did notice that there were many more siblings. Is that what you've been up to, Father?
Yes, and I know what you did to my birds.
They attacked me, Father, and I reluctantly defended myself. I'm so sorry.
I don't mean to cause a spat between father and son, but if the business is urgent, perhaps, Archmage, you and your offspring can settle that matter once I'm finished. I don't want to take too much of your time.
I'll just wait over. I'll wait over here.
Guys, we pay attention to this. We don't know what the Queen of Thieves is up to yet. She's probably going to try something, so
We
just
got what we
be
wanted.
prepared. I know, but just be prepared. Be prepared.
Fitting.
Well, she begins. Archmage, I have been very fascinated by the things that you are making, or at least your other members, and I can see already. Well, I have a very simple question for you. How much for the thing on the slab? It's a little taken aback. Have you come here to make deals? To buy and sell for me like I'm some sort of petty salesman? She replies, well, I just thought that obviously you're doing the most important work, and the most important work does definitely need some financial backing, does it not? I mean, I'm sure, given your previous transaction history, at least with my associates and by my calculations, there is far more delirium that is going into the Enigma ziggurat than is coming out. And I have been curious what it is being used for, and I can certainly see what is going on here. Tell me about these things that you're making.
Is the Queen of Thieves trying to buy an army?
How astute of you, Sebastian.
You can hear me. Okay. Whispering
you're
skills, not great. All right. What are you going to do with the army, Kat?
Well, I mean, my nation is currently being invaded by a foreign power, and I think that it would be prudent to make sure that the soldiers of Westamar are as well equipped as they possibly can be to meet the upcoming challenges that they are going to face. And certainly, the blood of Westamar has been spent well enough, and if these things don't bleed, then I think that's a win.
Well, I'm sure, if I may say so, that our Archmage probably is much wiser to know that he shouldn't be funding a sorceress. Queen? King?
Queen.
Queen?
Yeah, Director. If you're going to do anything with this army, I would say that it was best used to help allies of the Amethyst Academy.
I am not selling anything yet.
Good. Good, cool. We're all good.
Coming in here, presuming that you can just make demands of me. How dare you? And of course you, Katarina, a mage of the Amethyst Academy. How presumptuous of you to just act like you can purchase the services of your superior. Outrageous. You act like my children.
Wrath?
I'm so sorry, Father. I did not know that this was the business she was willing to conduct.
Nevertheless, you've had some setbacks, haven't you, Queen Thieves? You are looking at one of my little setbacks. Yes, of course. As of late, I have not been able to make sure that enough delirium gets out and directly to the Enigma ziggurat. It seems that some of your competitors in the Academy are getting a little bit more priority over the delirium supply now that the inscrutable tower is back up in operations. Tell me, did you manage to decide whether or not you're going to give Eldritch a position on your illustrious directorate, or are you going to hold that over him till he has expended all of his usefulness?
I mean, Sir Academy Director, you must have been there on the moon. What are you going to be doing with that extra seat? You offered it to Eldrick, you also offered it to me.
Oh, I didn't offer that one to you. That's enough of a problem that was enough of a distraction to my time, a waste of my time, that meeting on the moon. And the fact that the others made such flippant offers of our time and resources. Please. What? You on the directorate? Can you cast Time Stop?
Can you cast
Can
magic
you cast
missile?
Shape Change?
Can you
What about True
like,
Polymorph?
I can cast
A
polymorph.
Meteor Swarm. You're an evoker, I understand.
Yes.
Parlor Tricks.
Parlor
Tricks
tricks.
is the best that I have heard you muster up, Sebastian Crow. And same of you, Katarina von Kessel. The only thing that you have to offer me is delirium. And you don't have any of it, because you've been pushed out of your city. So what are you here for, wasting my time?
Academy Director, who pushed her out of the city? Who regained the foothold in the city? Who regained the inscrutable tower for you? Parlor tricks, you say. Are you trying to just talk down to me for the sheer fun of it? Because you're undermining all of the effort that I've put in for the Academy. And I don't appreciate it.
Very well. Very well. You are all these other things aside. Your actions, from what I understand, jeopardize the future of our supplies of delirium more than anything else. From what I understand, now we have an Illyrian army marching on Drakkenheim, intent on destroying every scrap of the most valuable magical resource the world has ever seen. And at the same time as that, there is this other little interloper king that my daughter has scraped out of a barn, who is looking to make deals with them. What's going to happen? This resource, the delirium, we cannot lose it. And all I see from your actions are things that are going to cost it for us. And as for you, Miss Queen of Thieves, you have no supply anymore. So what can you actually offer me? You should fall in line. If you knew what was best for you, you would abandon your little charade, come back into the fold, and maybe one day we could make an Archmage out of you. Certainly from what I've seen, you've got a better chance of it than he does. And definitely much more than my idiot son here.
Listen. You may complain about delirium, but you know what? Soon enough, we don't do nothing. All this planet, all this area is gonna be is delirium. And it's gonna suffocate you and your work until this whole planet is gone. How dare you undermine the work that your son is doing? He is doing fantastic things out there to make sure you have a planet to live on.
Thank you, Ruben.
Miss Whitaker, is it? That perspective I find so small-minded. This world is but one of many. And, incidentally, how do you know that you're still on the planet that you think you're talking about?
Well, I assume.
Yes, you do. And you make a fool of yourself in the process.
I'd rather be a fool than someone who thinks they're mightier than the rest of us.
I'm sorry, Mr. Director, sir. What is wrong with your son exactly? What problem do you have with your son?
Bastion, just leave it.
No. I see you, Mr. Director, here hiding away from the real world, not actually knowing what's going on out there. I don't think you've stepped into the heart of the crater and touched the delirium heart. You're in here building lesser contraptions when you've already created something incredible. And I gesture to Wrath. And I'm like, you have one of the greatest spellcasters to ever grace the academy here. You have somebody who is working diligently to help people, which is what the academy is supposed to stand for. And instead, what? You're collecting delirium, which you have to know has the potential of absolutely destroying everything it touches. And yes, the magical potency is incredible, but you're here being a bully to your son and to the rest of us Academy mages. Why? Because you think you're better than us? Aren't the directors supposed to stand up for the rest of us Mageborn who are trying our best to fit into the world? And what are you doing? You're here in your workshop insulting us? Thinking lesser of us, talking down to us?
Where to even begin, Sebastian Crow? First, you show a great failure of imagination. Destruction is the essence of creation. You cannot make something unless you take another thing apart and reassemble the base components. Destruction is creation. If you cannot see that, grasp that fundamental law of magic, how can you call yourself a mage? These pieces and parts, what this delirium does, is not destruction. It is reconfiguration, reassembly. Yes, of course, an explosion. An explosion does not destroy anything. It simply scatters it into a million pieces. Pieces that we can build again in another shape, in another form. Hammer them together, shape them, transmute them according to our will and whims. And in this regard, the delirium is the superlative tool. It is the very thing that we need to accomplish all of the things that you wish, all of the things that you speak so highly of. And yet you would deny this key resource. I do not understand why. Out of fear that it could be misused? Again, a small imagination is the only one who would fear anything from delirium. If you wish to ascend the ranks of the Academy, you must approach things with far more creativity and a far more open mind about opportunities. Or you speak of things. The Academy can accomplish nothing without the power of creativity. That is what we were founded upon.
Without delirium, you founded this academy. You built it to save mage-born children, protect them from the bullies of the world. And by the sounds of it, somewhere along the way, you've become a bully yourself, and you didn't even mention Wrath in there. You're still not addressing the fact that you just spoke to your son like that, your own flesh and blood. That's... I'm sorry, I didn't make out everything you said. I kind of just heard something about, oh, I'm a bad dad. Something along those lines.
Every creator, every artist has a few early works that do not live up to the standards of their later mastery. Wrath is a fine enough creation, but not one without its flaws.
Wrath, is this how he always talks to you?
You should be thankful, Sebastian. That is wise advice.
No.
You're a powerful and connected man. If you listen to him, you could one day be an Archmage. You could do well in the Academy.
Wrath, your father's a glorified tinkerer. For all I care. He mentions creation and what that takes. Must take delirium. But you know what? As a mother of 10, I can tell you, anyone can create. Laugh. We don't need delirium to do so.
Yes, of course, just be like every other human being on the planet, with no other potential, nothing to give but your own, the fruit of your own loins. Having a child is no accomplishment, nothing to brag about. Anybody can do it. It is no great act of creation. It's just the most fundamental thing that life does.
I mean, not anybody. My mom died to create me. That was pretty tragic. We're putting a lot of words out there. Wrath, I'm sorry. This is my first time meeting an Academy director face to face, and I expected that you would uphold the values of the Amethyst Academy that I have strived. I mean, I've failed in many cases, but I've been re-established into the Institute of the Academy for the purposes that I wanted to protect me and people like me from the dangers of this world, and you're toying with the dangers of this world, and you talk about small-minded views, and you can't see past the purple haze of delirium. It blinds you, and it corrupts you, even without you having to touch it. It seeps into your mind, and it's the only thing that you seem to think about. And I'm hoping the other directors aren't this obtuse with their views of what's possible from an academy that doesn't rely on delirium.
I am bored of you, Sebastian Crow. Your empty words are nothing to me. You run your mouth far too much. Perhaps you should feel what it's like not to have one. Make a wisdom saving throw.
I get an 8.
He casts True Polymorph on you, and polymorphs you into yourself without a mouth.
Father, please. This is. He does not know that he speaks out of line. I have seen him. I think he could be a great mage one day. I beg you, please, just speak with Katerina and then we'll be on our way. We'll leave you to your work. I do not want to take any more of your time.
Very well. I will meet with Katerina in private. You three can wait. I'm not done with you yet.
Yes, Father. Yes.
He looks at the stand over there.
I go to where he gestures.
You see him wave some words, and he is going to cast Horse Cage on the three of you, and then cover you in a tiny hut, so you can't see what he's talking about with Katerina.
So this is like a waiting room.
Didn't you stand up for yourself?
As when that ends, the true polymorph wears off on Sebastian.
Oh, that was terrible.
He has done much worse to much more powerful. Sebastian, you have to be careful. He is.
I know. I get heated sometimes. Wrath.
Sebastian, I'm on the same page as you. You know, when someone like that goes parade around thinking they're better than everyone else, it just grinds my gears and I can't stand it. So
It's really important that you both know that he is absolutely better than all of us.
Wrath, it is really important that you know that you are better than he says you are. I need you to hear this. I know that we don't know each other that well, but in the short time that I have been spending with you, you have been phenomenal. I don't know how else to say it. I like to rag on you a bit and make fun of, some of the spell casting and whatnot, but you're incredible. You're incredible. You're doing incredible things. And I just need you. Wrath, I'm just going to grab Wrath and I'm going to hug him really, really tightly. And I'm just like, and I just lean in and I'm like, Wrath, you're so good. You're so good. I understand you. And I'm sorry.
It's okay, Sebastian. I know what I am.
I don't think you do. I think you've been told that you're something your whole life. You've been told that you're small, but you're not small. You're so much bigger. And I don't mean size. I hope that's apparent here. We're not like you're a little shorter than me, you're a little scrawnier, but you're bigger than what he has told you are.
And listen, when you said he's better than us, there's more than one way just to look at how someone is better. And he for sure is not better than our heart and our determination to make right in this world. He is way below on that scale. Very selfish. So, you know what? You can't tell him yourself that he's better. He may be more magical, more skills. That don't mean he's right for making the decisions about what's going to happen in Drakkenheim.
A voice rings out in your mind, Wrath. You were made by a powerful mage. One who did not see in you what I see. The one that Alabaster might think of transformation, of creation and destruction. For him, the balance, the build, the parts, the pieces, all must add up in perfect order. But what he does not know is that it need not be so. I will teach you the ways to destroy such that there is nothing left, and to make out of pure chaos.
Wrath, I know this is a lot. We lost you there.
My eyes are like milky white. Just
I think he's having a
uh,
moment.
Did we overburden his brain?
I
It
think
happens
so.
from time to time.
I say back to Bruce in my mind, you have always been there for me. You are the one that transformed me. I listened to my father because of who he says he is. But now I see that you are the true transformer. You are the one who can teach me. And one day we will destroy everything that he holds dear.
I will teach you how to dance the wrong side out, and then all place will be no place at all.
Your words bring me comfort.
Also, like that, he's not even. Sebastian's been talking like on and off this whole time.
Look,
Now,
I
what-
I know he is a very stern man, but he is enveloped in his work, and his dismissal of you is a consequence of his mind being elsewhere. I do not take the words he says personally. His focuses are on things other than what you consider to be important.
But-
He is a little toy maker, making little puppets. We will make the puppets dance. They're good little puppets. We'll make them dance in a way that he never thought they could.
I know that you two both think of this as odd, but I do not see. He is one that I call father, but the one I truly look to is Bruce.
Yeah, that's.
He's the one that has raised me. Before Bruce, I was nothing.
I mean, you weren't nothing, Raph.
There was, I could not step foot in this place before Bruce.
So, okay, one of the greatest people I've ever met in my entire life. You've met him, Pluto Jackson, big fighter guy. He's got no magical powers. He has no idea what a spell casting is. They gave him a ring, and I think he kind of knows how to use it. So, but that's not the point. Pluto Jackson is a great man without needing magic or spells, or he was never nothing, and he never will be nothing. And like him, there's a few similarities between you and him. It's funny. I think it's the face, but
I can change my face.
that might be it. But what I'm saying is, you weren't ever a nobody, and I think that you're tying this nobody to not being able to enter Academy strongholds, or maybe not being able to cast.
No, Sebastian, what it's like. To
Okay,
be
I
on
don't.
The outside.
Yeah.
Rudy, even you, the magic flows through you. I had nothing.
Well, okay, Raph, how about this? I may not know what it's like to not have magic, but unlike you who grew up in the academy, I grew up in a small town where having magic made me the outsider. It made me the problem. So in a way, I do know.
I would have begged for your life.
And I
The
would have begged for
ability
yours.
To see things, to feel it. It is nothing. It is, I am fine. We wait for them to finish their meeting, and when they are done, we may go.
Now, boys, it's all fine and dandy out there, out there. But what I'm concerned about is if Wrath, your father, actually makes a deal with the Queen of Thieves, that could be very bad for everything we've done.
If she gains an army, she's going to retake Drakkenheim with it, and she might, if she gets, I don't know, the contraptions that your dad is making, she might take the throne. She might.
This
I don't
might
know.
be exactly what we need to fend off the Illyrians.
Why do we want? I thought Wilhelm was gonna make a deal with the Illyrians. I thought we were.
Can they hear us out there?
I mean, maybe.
Probably.
You can't hear them if they're talking out there. If they can hear you, who knows? But you can't hear them.
You don't know what's going to happen with our other group. But what I'm worried about is Cat's making a power play that is not going to be beneficial no matter what we decide with the Illyrians.
I don't much like your dad, but Raph, when we get out of this cage, you need to convince him, because I'm not going to be able to. You need to convince him not to make a deal with the Queen of Thieves. We got her meeting. We have St. Vitruvio's staff. But, I mean, you have to have some... I mean, actually, it doesn't seem like there's much sway here, but I just... You have a better chance than Rudy or I.
Convince my father of anything would be a feat. I am willing to talk to him, but his deals are his deals. I thought we knew this going in. If she was so dangerous, did we not know that she would?
No, we know she's dangerous, but she had a knife to Rudy's family, and she had the staff that we needed. There were elements at play here that were beyond our control. But I didn't think your father would actually cater to her madness. I thought we'd get here and there was a chance that he would just explode her. And, as sad as I would be, that would kind of solve a lot of problems. And I was kind of hoping that your father would just like laugh in her face or something, but now I'm actually nervous and this can't... Wrath, you don't need to be a son right now. You need to stand up for what we know is happening in Drakkenheim. What all of us have been fighting for, and you need to explain that to your father in a way that he understands.
I want to reach into your mind, Sebastian. And Rudy, I'll repeat the same thing to you. If I am my father's son, these constructs will be mine. I do not fear them. Bruce will show us the true meaning of creation and destruction. Do not fear it. They will simply do all the heavy lifting. We will
I
be
hope
in
you're right.
control.
I hope you're right, Raph. I hope you're right.
It is okay.
You are in the force cage for some time. Enough time that you could cast Identify on the scepter and indeed verify it is indeed the Scepter of Sandwich. It's the
Wonderful.
real McCoy.
At least we weren't lied to by the Queen of Thieves.
We still have all the rest of our stuff.
Yes.
We still do.
It may come in handy. Although this alone will guarantee us the trade.
After a short while, there is a shudder as the force cage fades and the barrier of the tiny hut goes down, and you see the workshop once again, and Alabaster is back at work on his construct.
Where's the Queen of Thieves?
Nowhere to be seen.
Have you finished your business, Father?
Oh, yes, yes. She was very direct. I thought you would need some time to stew and think about what you did and how you acted. She left about half an hour ago.
We still have her stuff.
That's not my problem. She forgot something with you. That's fine.
Did you come to an arrangement? Was it successful?
Yes. In fact, I thought about what you said, Sebastian, about helping mages and making sure that the Academy's original purpose is upheld, and she made some very good observations about how that could be best accomplished, and I think this will be for the best. So, thank you for your insight, Master Crow.
Something tells me that we're on different pages right now. Could you elaborate, please, kindly, sir?
You have already wasted a lot of my time.
Sorry, so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I'm gonna nudge Raph.
Father, she was so adamant about meeting you and said it was almost impossible to arrange this meeting. That is why she approached us. What was it that she was so urgently needing to speak with you? And if I may ask, we provide delirium as well directly to the Academy. What can she provide that is beyond our supplies?
I wouldn't expect you to understand, but it is helpful to think about the future. This is risky, what she's asked for, but it will be best in the long term. The Academy, for Mageborn, me, and for you. And if it doesn't work, it's her head. She has made a rather considerable offer regarding both my present supplies and future assurances which I will need to bring to the other directors, but I think that they agreeable in terms of it. She asked to purchase creations, and I am to make her 1,000.
What you're saying is you're equipping her with an army.
Yes. And like all deals between the nobility and the Amethyst Academy, what she purchases will be available to any other noble interested in purchasing them for the same price, while supplies last.
Well, we do have nobility. You know him? What would be our price if we were to arrange to purchase such creations? I've never asked you about buying these things.
Certainly. The details are surprising, and we'll see if she can make do on her end of the bargain. If she can afford it, then she'll get what she pays for. This is the way the Academy has always operated. It's no different from anything that we've done before. Yes, Mr. Crow.
You do know who you're making deals with, right? You do know what she's done and is going to continue to do. You do know the harm that she's caused every effort that we have tried to make in Drakkenheim for the past year. The hindrances, the issues. You're aware of these, right?
Yes. I am. But we're not supposed to intervene in these issues. And so, we do not have to. We only need to do what we've always done. She asked me for nothing more and nothing less than what any other noble might have asked for. That's my business to bring to the directorate, not yours.
But she's Mageborn. She's not... She's like the noble line. Is there some loophole there? Is the Edicts of Lumen?
If it is the Academy's role, as far as these issues are concerned, is to merely act as cross-examiner should the other nobles wish to bring her to trial. If they do, I have no doubt that she will die. They'll just have to bring her to trial.
If we, Father, if we wish to purchase your creations on behalf of Drakkenheim, can we do this through you directly? Can I contact you?
I do not think that you'll be able to afford it, my son. And certainly, if she does not produce what she has promised, then you have nothing to worry about.
And what did she promise you? If we're going to compete, have a competing offer, we should know what stakes are on the table.
The guarantees that the Academy is looking for with regards to the supply of delirium. Several million gold pieces. A guarantee to bring the Divine Matriarch the negotiating table to revise the Edicts of Lumen.
Oh, no. I mean, I don't disagree that the Edicts of Lumen are a faulty document at best, but I can see her play from a mile away. She's going to try to get rid of the section on the Edicts of Lumen that deny her the throne. That's it. And then the Divine Matriarch's not going to go for that. What do you think Illyria is going to be okay with a sorcerer queen sitting on the throne of Westamar? No.
Well, Alabaster shrugs. I don't imagine that the Illyrians will, if it's not too much to brag about. I'm not quite certain the Illyrians will be able to do much about this. And he taps a rune, and the massive creature behind him rears up. The turbine of delirium geodes in its chest, spinning at a high fever-pitch noise. I'm working on at least 10 more.
You're going to force the Illyrians.
No, I'm not. She is. The Directorate doesn't have to do a single thing.
Right. I think I'm seeing the big picture here. Dragons and ants, is it?
Indeed. As for you, Wrath, I noticed that you killed my cockatrice.
I am so sorry, Father. The last time I was here, I don't remember them being so big. I don't know what came over me, but they appeared to be enemies, and I dispatched them so quickly. I'm so sorry. You can make more, yes?
Maybe I should polymorph your friends here into some of them. I could rebuild the collection quite quickly.
Please don't. They're not at fault. It was... Sometimes I try to do right. I try to do right by you. I only want to impress you by bringing them here and showing all of this. It's just, it was a moment of anger, a slip up.
Stop listening to your cat.
You know I can't.
Very well.
He teaches me.
He looks you over. You know, there is much. The power of magic has been in our blood for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But it was our ancient ancestors that introduced it by making pacts like you did, that cat. So in a way, perhaps you still uphold the legacy of your family. Even if it skipped your... If you're going to meddle in all of this, at least make sure you are standing by your family. And you, too, Shinkru. Your mother was a great Archmage, great director of this academy, and she achieved many fine things, and she had my respect. Don't betray her legacy by bringing ruin to this academy.
I assure you, Director, I won't.
Get out of my workshop.
I start pushing on the wall.
Yeah. Stepping on stuff.
Can we go back the way we came? I'd much like to see the sights of the ziggurat again.
Very well. He casts teleportation circle, which opens to the teleportation chamber. Get out.
Thank
I
you,
help
Father.
See you later.
Bye.
You return back to the teleportation chamber that you were in before, and the very surprised mage operating it. Oh, you're back again!
Yeah, meeting adjourned, I guess.
Our business is concluded.
Well, I think we want to see the sights. It was such a beautiful place. Me and my party want to maybe go back in for a moment.
Rudy,
Your friend was here about half an hour ago. She left already.
She forgot her things. Did she say where she was going?
No, she just said that if you were looking for her, that she'd see you in Drakkenheim.
Oh, good. Rudy, do you have some sort of plan?
I got an idea. To see the sights and, I think I took what your father said to heart when he said, the magic of destruction.
Are you gonna blow up the Enigma ziggurat? You'll kill... Wait, we went over this.
Listen, I got an idea. Just to cause a little bit of trouble. Make sure that your father gets a bit paused in his work. Unless y'all want to go home and see what happens, we roll that dice.
I mean, I've never been a big fan of rolling dice. We're just going to go for a little walk. Is that okay, Master Teleporter guy?
Yeah.
Does our guest pass for our companion still apply?
Yeah.
Rudy, I'm intrigued.
I start walking away with Rudy because I want to hear what she's got.
I don't know how secret we are being in the hallway. But...
Yeah, you can kind of
get out of earshot.
Get out of earshot of anyone else. Yeah.
Listen,
Jack and I could call a hallway.
Just because we want to cause some trouble doesn't mean we can't save no people. All right. But what I'm concerned about is if we leave your father for even a minute, I feel like we're gonna regret it if we walk out of here and let him be.
But if we mess around with his stuff, he might, like...
You do not want to mess with his stuff. It is...
He may...
You saw what he got mad about the birds. He has so many birds.
He made my mouth disappear just because I talk too much. I'm a little nervous that if we, like...
What is your...
I don't know. There was some sort of sewage system and some gears. And I thought, you know what, Sebastian, you wanted to press buttons so much. Why don't we go press buttons?
Let him press buttons.
Ooh, I do like, but now we're back at the teleportation room.
Might be too late.
I mean,
this
no,
point,
I
but-
like your idea, but also pressing those buttons requires going back down those stairs.
It's true.
I'm both of you. He is a lot.
Mm.
And he is not perfect, but he does what's best for the Academy. And he is a great contributor. I believe he has left an opening for us, willingly or unwillingly.
I guess if we can come up with $1 million gold, we might have a shot of using it.
Well, we do not have to come up with this gold. We just have to stop the Queen of Thieves from coming up with it.
I mean, she probably already has all that. You heard her talk about all her
Most
gold
of it
around?
might be in, Sebastian's possession.
He said something very specific, though. I didn't love it because, I mean, I've known Katerina for years. But he said if another noble were to bring her to trial or something on this matter, he assumes she would end up dead. We have another noble.
It's true. Then we gotta catch her again, and she's slippery as a fish.
She also plans to be the one to bring the Divine Matriarch to the table to rewrite the Edicts of Lumen.
Yeah, she's gonna force the Divine Matriarch, and that's outright war with Illyria at that point. You think that they're gonna sign a new Edicts of Lumen and then go quietly home? I mean, but then the problem is she's gonna use the army to fight the Silver Order and any Illyrian forces, and
You may have an army coming at us from both sides if we don't be careful.
I believe
not to mention Lucretia.
It's a cart before the horse. If she wants this army, she has to accomplish these goals. If there's one thing I've learned in my many years with the Academy, it's that sometimes we just need to sabotage.
Sabotage is my middle name.
Bruce has taught me many things about the meaning of chaos. I believe that if we actively stand in the way, we can have our chance to take those machines for ourselves. They're puppets. They just need a master. I can be their master.
Wrath, you know what? I'm going to trust you on this. That we can come up with some sort of plan to get your father's creations on our side. But no, that backup plan, we're going to tank the ziggurat.
Button. We started hitting buttons.
I took extensive notes.
Right.
I mean, it's the constructs that you saw in his workshop alone, like that one large machine. You didn't see what it was capable of, but those things would be, if he's able to produce them in the quantities that he's claiming to be able to, like Rudy, you could even tell, like, that would just not even be anything that the conventional militaries of the continent ever dealt with in centuries. Yeah. Right? Like, there years ago, there were times when House von Draken, for instance, had alliances with dragons and used them in wars hundreds of years ago, but it's been a long time since that much magic has been used in warfare in the continent. And so even with the Illyrians, like, that kind of firepower could be a game changer in terms of war. Like, just knowing what you know about warfare on the continent, like, it's not even a matter of like, it could end up being a very one-sided conflict, essentially.
Listen, boys, I've been through wars I've been through, battles, and I ain't seen nothing like this before. Really, if we look at it, whoever has this army that your father's producing Wrath, they're gonna win. Hands down, no way that what we got already is gonna stand anything against them. So I think we need to bring this back to Wilhelm, and we need to make a decision about how we want to move forward with building our army.
I mean, I guess silver linings, we completed our mission. We got St. Vitruvio's staff, and we have insight into the Queen of Thieves' plans. So, you know, if we tell this story properly to the people we're going back to, we greatly accomplished our mission. The goal was to gain intel on the Queen of Thieves and to get the staff of St. Vitruvio accomplished.
You know what? You're right. We did accomplish a lot here, and I will say, though, we may have won this battle, but there is a heck of a war ahead of us if we don't make good decisions and move quickly.
And I'm starting to see a lot more enemies than I thought there were.
And that is where we'll end for the night.
So many feels!
With that, a big thank you, as always, to our amazing cast, Kelly, Jill, and Joe, for playing this evening. I think next week we might have to flip over to Paluto, Wilhelm, and Veo.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's a week to get back in that mindset.
Yeah.
Who's Wilhelm? Anyway, we'll figure it out.
The greatest fighter of all time, Little Jackson.
I also want to give a huge thank you to Kyle for all of the work he does behind the scenes and for just being a generally charming and wonderful person. And a huge thank you to our great dungeon master, Monty Martin, for running a great game. Our first meeting with an Academy director. And they are everything I hoped they would be.
And I already want to chop their heads off.
See about that. I mean, I wasn't sure about that. I had the stat block ready to go. I was like, I don't know if Rudy's gonna be able to hold back here. We'll see.
It was tough. She had a little bit of self-control. It's fine.
Yeah. Mom stepped up.
Wait, what was the line? I am everyone's mom. That was in the previous, but that was the best Rudy line. That was the summary of Rudy.
As big
Rudy.
Yeah.
I am everyone's mother.
Everyone's mom. In our game tonight, we use a variety of incredible assets produced by talented artists. They have graciously given us permission to use them in our stream games, and you can use them in your games too. So please go out and support some of these amazing creators. How do you make the maps, Monty?
This map was by Neutral Party, and it was uploaded into Roll20.
And so Roll20, we have our music by Tabletop Audio and some of our amazing character artwork by Elizabeth Perot. So please check them out.
Of course, don't forget to look at the links below for our Teespring store. You can find all of your favorite Dungeon Dudes t-shirts, including Yes, 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 shout out to Drakkenheim, and all of your faves. Check out bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch.
Our videos and live streams are made possible because we have an amazing Patreon community. Thank you so much to our incredible patrons. And if you enjoy our show and want to join our Patreon community, check us out at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes.
We also have a phenomenal Discord community that is exclusive for our patrons. So if you do join our Patreon, you can hop onto our Discord and you can chat with all of us about all things D&D, all things Drakkenheim. You can join us on our monthly writers' rooms and our Q&As that we do. And yeah, you get to kind of join in on all the fun, and you can kind of dissect the recent events in Drakkenheim with us. I always get excited after an episode and hop in there and see what people are saying, and it's always fun. So come join us on Discord.
We got new videos coming out on YouTube every Thursday as well. So check us out at youtube.com/dungeondudes.
And be sure to join us live next Tuesday when we record the campaign live on Twitch. You can check us out from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube, which air every Friday. And you can also check us out as an audio-only podcast, which also goes up on the following Friday on all of your favorite podcasting platforms.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time when we decide the fate of Drakkenheim.